And it was really cool. And then we went and saw The Whale. I don't know if you guys have heard of this. The Whale. I thought it was the funniest movie this year. If you guys don't know who Darin Aronofsky is, Darin Aronofsky is the director who did... I had to get down from my ladder to say congrats. Oh, thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate it. AKA Swingers Party. That's right. We dropped our keys in the fishbowl. And at the end, boy howdy, we ended up with each other, which was really weird. Yeah. But I did bust that nut, baby. I appreciate that, Naders. You got all the way down from that giraffe pussy just to say that no refunds. So we went and saw The Whale, and I don't know if you guys have heard of this. And Darin Aronofsky, who is a director, he did Requiem for a Dream. I think he did Following as well. He's done a bunch of films over the years, and The Whale, it's Brendan Fraser's comeback role, and I gotta say, Brendan Fraser did really well in it, but it's supposed to be some drama. How long's that tongue gotta be to reach a fat giraffe? Gene Simmons, Gene. So you're almost there with the name, but Gene Simmons long. I don't have it. Hello. Remember, what's that movie? Oh my God, what's that movie where it's about bowling with Woody Harrelson? Oh my God, it's the Farrelly brothers, and there's like this. I think it's a deleted scene where his landlord, because she would make him perform cunnilingus on her to pay rent. Woody Harrelson, and he was missing a hand and stuff. Like, it was just ridiculous. But there's like this there's this scene, I think it's right at the end of the credits, and she like pops up in the window and goes, ah. It's wonderful. Let's see, hold on. What's that? Kingpin, landlord cunnilingus. Let's see if that comes up on YouTube. No, it's just a bunch of oral sex stuff. Okay, great. Anyways, it's a very funny movie. And Reina Mystique, 32 months.
Shoot. 32 months.
Let's go. Thank you very much, Reina Mystique. I appreciate you for that 32 month and being our mod here and being a beautiful wife and a beautiful mother to our wild ass son, who is also beautiful. Lots of beauty going on in the world. Low key surprise, Mike can spell cunnilingus. I can't spell cunnilingus, but you know who can? Google. Google corrects my spelling. I no longer have to rely on my terrible illiterate spelling. I can just, Google does it all for me. So, cunnilingus came up, but it's, man, see, like, I wish, hold on, I'm sure that'll get us DMCA'd, but it's very funny to me. Parents Kingpin movie. Parents Guide to Sex and Nudity. Kingpin. All right, that's weird. Anyways, I think Randy Quaid's in that movie too, and Randy Quaid has turned into like this crazy guy. Anyways, I think he's just tax evasion. In any case, we saw The Whale, and maybe we should pull up The Whale. And I'll show you what... Okay, so it's Brendan Fraser, which, funny enough, Brendan Fraser was blacklisted in 2003. And Brendan Fraser was in The Mummy. He was in Encino Man. He was in a bunch of, hits for the time. And, you know, at one time he was a huge mega star. So what ended up happening is that he got sexually assaulted by a Hollywood executive. And he went on GQ, he did an interview with GQ and stated, you know, was naming names and stated that this happened. And that executive ended up ended up blacklisting and blackballing him from working. So his career he just disappeared. And I remember that. It's like, I wonder whatever happened to Brendan Fraser. And what ended up happening is that he suffered this career. He had, you know, he gained weight, he lost hair. He's no longer like that beautiful guy that we remember from The Mummy, which I never really thought he was that cute in the first place. But he ended up, I thought it was a disease. He might have a disease. I don't know. Does Brendan Fraser have a disease? Let's share this with you guys here so we can all be on the same page. Brendan Fraser disease. The Brendan Fraser disease. That's would be funny if it came up. But the tragic truth about Brendan Fraser's health issues. So everyone is rooting for him, as it is clear Brendan Fraser is making a comeback in a major way. At one point, Fraser was among the elite, particularly during the late 90s and early 2000s. The Mummy films were his primary claim to fame, but Brendan was a staple in pop culture too, that era. But it wasn't all sunshine and roses for Fraser. Soon things began to change both personally and professionally. His career would shift in 2008. It seemed as though completely disappeared. Fraser's net worth decreased. He fell out of favor in Hollywood and even quietly faced marital problems behind the scene. But primary issue that stalled his impressive career, some serious injuries physically slowed Fraser down. So Fraser underwent multiple surgeries. So that's why he probably got fat, which, you know, hey, I'm fat as shit right now. So I'm not judging the fatness, but, you know. At the moment it felt okay, Brendan Fraser was riding high, working project after project during the late 90s and into the early 2000s. However, by the time the third Mummy movie came around, the actor started to feel some burnout. Not only that, he was in a rough shape physically from all the stunts he's been working. According to Fraser, in an interview in GQ, it hurt his career in a major way. I believe I probably was trying too hard and it was destructive. By the time he did the third Mummy movie, I was put together with tape and ice, just like really nerdy and fetishy about ice packs, screw cap. Okay, come on, let's go. So here we go. Brendan, the problems would continue to pile up off screen for Fraser. This, however, was a different variety back in 2003. It all took place in Beverly Hills Hotel during a party set up by the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. Brendan Fraser came forward with a story of sexual assault, saying he was groped by former president of Hollywood Foreign Press Association. So he was groped. And this is saying Brendan Fraser was groped. Brendan Fraser claims he was groped by former Hollywood Foreign Press. So Philip Burke. This guy looks like a perv. His left hand reaches around. He gotta reach around. His left hand reaches around, grabs my ass cheek, and one of his fingers touches me in the taint, and he starts moving around. Listen, the sexual assault is not funny, but it's kind of funny when it's another man doing it to another man. I'm just saying. He touched his taint. You know, I would have been flattered. Personally, I would have been flattered, but I would have been like, nah, man, you can't be touching my taint. I'm not into it. I felt ill. I felt like a little kid. I felt like there was a ball in my throat. More like balls in his throat. Am I right? Am I right? I thought I was going to cry. Okay, I'm not going to laugh at sexual assault. My bad, everybody. It's not funny. He was obviously hurt. It's got to be the hole, not the taint, right? He totally missed. Come on, Alan Dirk. Let's see, what else is it? Fraser says this incident is one of the reasons why his career stalled. This is very slow. After major roles in high-grossing films, come on, bitch. This is so slow. Encino Man. Okay, I can't deal with this. It's such a slow-ass thing. So Alan Dirks. So what's funny is, so Alan Dirks gets this dude blacklisted, and then Alan Dirks ends up getting canceled himself back in 2021. Is that his name? Alan Dirks canceled. Is that his name? Oh, anyways, so this dude, the Hollywood elite ends up getting canceled because he sends an email to another person that got leaked saying that BLM was a racist and violent movement, and that he was criticizing the lady Patrice something for buying real estate with the money from Black Lives Matter. Now, I'm not agreeing that it was a racist and violent movement. I think I've said it before. I think it was a necessary movement, but it does seem like there was just someone who was arrested here in Toledo for connections to an Atlanta arm of BLM, and he was funneling money. And what ended up happening is that Patrice lady, who was buying all these properties in Los Angeles, spending millions of dollars on properties all around the country and in Canada. And, people didn't like that. People ended up turning against her. So there was corruption within the BLM organization. And that's to be expected. It's like when there's tons of money going into an organization that didn't seem to have like a really, they had their like their statements, they had their like what they stood for, but it never seemed like that money went into anything other than like protest. Sure as hell didn't go into South Chicago where you have people dying daily, and like last summer they had or 2021 summer they had like 60 people dying in one weekend. Tell that to all the shop owners who got burned down. Right. And that was the other part, is that they weren't very peaceful protests. They were very they were violent protests. And again, I supported BLM in the beginning, but as it progressed and you saw how it was sort of being used by our government, and how they were saying that and you saw how the news media, there was that very famous, what's that, CNN? Remember there was like CNN peaceful protest, flames in background. There was that famous thing that still comes up. And let's see if it comes up. Look right here. Fiery but mostly peaceful protests after police shooting. Now, again, police has, the police, I speak on this a lot. The police do need reforming. And, this was something done out of frustration. But the idea that CNN was going to back for these protests, and our government was going to back for these protests, and they were bailing people out, Antifa members who, Antifa, the January 6th shit, I think it's all garbage, right? Fuck them all. And this right here is just a prime example of how they were sort of backing these movements, and like it was so obvious. It was so obvious that this was horrible. And now people make excuses. People are like, when do we get mad? When is it time to get mad? When is it time to get... I'm full believer in peaceful protest. That's something that's ingrained into our country. But once it starts becoming where you're destroying, and here's the thing, it wasn't even like black people in their own community. It was like these white fucking psychopaths from Antifa coming and breaking down, smashing in small business owners in these communities, burning it down. It wasn't even black people doing it, although you did see people looting and stuff once it started going down. But I think that's what happens in the midst of chaos. People just lose their fucking mind. It's like a group, a collective fucking freak out, right? But this shit right here, this is wild, man. Like, How did this guy just stand there and be like, it's mostly peaceful, as the city birds behind him? In any case, Alan Dirks, I think that's his name, who blackballed Brendan Fraser, he ended up getting canceled over that. It doesn't matter that he sexually assaulted a grown-ass man. It was that he spoke out against BLM. And to see, what's that phrase? Like, you can tell who's you can tell who's running shit by who you can't criticize. Let's get the proper phrase. That it's like, you can't even criticize this movement. You can't even criticize the destruction that some of this movement had caused. That dude looks like Peel and Key character. Yo, this is why it was so funny. But what's that phrase? You can tell who's in charge by who you can't criticize. This is so wrong. I'm so good at fucking up quotes. I'm the best at it. To learn who rules over you, it's quoted wrongly. Why are they fact checking? Why are they fact checking? Neo-Nazi, not Voltaire, originated the quote. Is that right? The neo-Nazis said that. Voltaire said, to learn who rules over you, simply find out who you're not allowed to criticize. The neo-Nazis, not Voltaire, originated quote about who rules over you. It's like you can't question the powers that be, and when the powers that be are backing up, and you have an alignment of social media, mainstream media, our government, you can see it, and if you can't criticize them, and you come under fire for criticizing them, you know that it's coming from the top. So it was such a weird time, but again, this movement was birthed out of violence against people who were just, black on a Tuesday. So that's why I completely supported this movement until it became this like really tyrannical thing where you couldn't even criticize it. You couldn't even say, hey, I don't know, it does seem like this is not that peaceful. And so this dude was criticizing it during the height. We also are not allowed to talk about crime stats. True that. I did see this really interesting TikTok. This dude who is African, black dude, was talking to this African-American lady, and it was a live stream on TikTok, and he was talking, she was talking like, hey, when can we get angry about how we've been treated? But thought, oh, Robbie, welcome in, buddy. Good to see you. Black on Tuesday, Asian on Friday. Yo, and it's really, any person of color can be a victim to all that shit. But, speaking on what Nader is saying, the African dude who's from Africa, like literally from Africa, who migrated to the United States and who finds the United States to be a wonderful place where he's had opportunities that he didn't have in Africa. And he's talking to this very angry African-American young lady, and she's saying, when do we get angry? When are we allowed to be this because, of the white man's oppression? And I thought the guy made a really good point. Now, I don't want to speak out of term here. Obviously, I'm not black, but just as an outsider, and I don't know that struggle. What it is like to be a daily. But it seems like this African dude from Africa really likes the United States and is like super psyched about being here. So I can only, but he was saying, we as a community, the black folks, this is what he's saying, not me, as a community, the black folks need to look inward. And he said, people don't attack a strong man or a strong community. And he's basically criticizing the American black community for being sort of disparate, being, not taking responsibility for what's going on in their communities and what's going on, and taking a look within and making the community strong before criticizing white people. He wasn't disagreeing that white people can be oppressive. I think that's pretty much proven. But he was saying that if the community comes together and really takes a look at, crime rates and prison rates, which can be attributed to some external things outside of the black community, that's for sure. But he's basically saying that the black community needs to be accountable for their actions right now and to come together in that sense. And, it makes sense. I see why this is an African person, right? He didn't grow up in America. As a light-skinned Latino, I've been subjected to little Aryan bastards calling me a fucking, horrible Mexican names on the playground, because I'm white. Until they see my parents, right? Until my mom dropped me off at school, I was just a white kid. As soon as they saw who my mom was, it changed. And all of a sudden, those really great words that little kids learn from somewhere, came out on the playground. Now, I'm not saying that I'm being oppressed, because I'm not. I'm not. That was clearly a learning point. I didn't take it as trauma. I'm not traumatized from what that little Aryan, little redneck fuck said to me on the playground that day. But, I'm not sitting here and trying to claim I know what it's like to be black, or what it's like to be Asian, or what it's like to be, anything other than who I am. Yeah, exactly. Mexican MILFs are hot. They're hot, big asses, if they're lucky. Same-o, what's up, buddy? So, again, I see the point. I don't understand it fully because, again, I don't have enough melanin in my skin for that. But I can see both points where you have this young, angry African-American woman who has seen horrible things happen within her community. You've had, and then you have this African dude who's coming in from an outsider point, who's from a third world country, who came here and who is like super happy that he can be fat in America with the rest of the fat Americans, because he was starving where he was at before. So he doesn't have that same perspective as that young African-American woman did. So again, I see both sides of it, but yeah, I think that they're both right. I think people should be angry, but I also do think that people should be taking responsibility for their actions, and that's, and that's what it is. Question is, does he have American citizenship? I don't know. There's a history of storage African America versus Africans war that go back and forth often on. I do understand the division between the two cultures. Yeah, and I could see that. And Samo would understand that much more than me, obviously. But there is that whole idea that, they didn't have to deal with the same traumas that the Americans do. But again, when you hear this African dude's story, like the shit he suffered, and I'm not trying to take away from one trauma is worse than the other, but he definitely came up in an area of of extreme poverty, and where a lot of people don't end up making it past a certain age, which again can be said about these certain communities here in America that we've completely abandoned as a country. South Chicago, Baltimore, these fucking Compton, there's areas of this country that we've completely just abandoned. And if we don't abandon them, we gentrify them and push people out and make it so they can't afford to live there, and basically make people homeless just by us moving in there and raising the rent, and Starbucks and Target, and which is fucked up too. It's fucked up too. But I'm with Gene, because those Mexicans, those Latinas, the Latina MILFs, let's go. So, those MILFs, baby. I don't know if he has citizenship, though. It's like Asian American versus Asian immigrants. Yeah, I can see it. Like I can see it from all. I can see what you're saying there too. It's the kids who grew up here who are maybe first or second generation Asians, compared to people who are coming over here fresh off the boat. You know, they came over here for opportunity. And Robbie, thank you so much for shouting out Samo. I appreciate it. Everybody go give Samo some love. My voice is already going out. It pisses me off. English, did you not see your Lifetime movie special provided by Disney historical all black cast of the Black Panther? I didn't see that. Wakanda Forever, man. I didn't see the new one. I have seen the Black Panther, but I've just lost all interest in movies. Which is where we're going with this whole discussion before it got turned into, mostly peaceful protests. I haven't seen the new one. I've lost interest in movies, you guys. I've completely just, like, to me, movies are just, they just are too long. And like, I don't really have the attention span. I do, but I don't care to put my attention into it. And that's why we come back to The Whale. I gotta have their start. But yeah, exactly. LOL, white girls are gangsters. Fuck, bro. They move into an area and upgrade the place. Well, there's good and there's bad to it all, I guess. The locals get, yeah, exactly, Robbie. 3 minutes. That's all you get. 3-minute fucking content. That's all I have for you guys. It's not as good as the first, but it's still a good movie. But I'm a sucker for MCU. I feel, yeah, I'm not into movies, and so I'm a big fan of Darin Aronofsky, or at least I used to be. And again, if you don't know who Darin Aronofsky is, he directed Requiem for a Dream. And so me and Reina went and saw this movie over the weekend, and I'm sitting there laughing the whole fucking time because, first of all, Brendan Fraser's and the prosthetics and the special effects are really good. It's a really cool small cast. It all takes place basically in a room, like one apartment. And it's just it was really good, like in the sense of a dramatic movie, it was good. But for me personally, I was just like, this is hilarious. Like, you have Brendan Fraser, who's in this fat suit, who can barely move around. It opens up with him jerking off and then having a minor heart attack right afterwards. It's fucking hilarious. He's jacking off the gay porn. It's the best. I fucking love. Reina is sobbing by the end of the movie, and I won't spoil the movie for anybody. She's sobbing by the end of the movie. It completely fucked her whole night up. And I'm laughing my ass off because it's just the scene. He's just like trying to stand up on his own. He's like, I'm so fat and I can't barely stand up. That's so fucking hilarious. But all I see is Brendan Fraser in a fat suit with very dramatic, loud music and good lighting. That's all I can see. It's all like it's not like I worked in the movie industry or anything, but I just know too much about production. It's like when I go to church and I see the lighting and the incense and the chants and the songs and the community and the everything. It looks really nice and it's symmetrical and gold and everything is made for you to be pulled in and to buy whatever they're selling. Right? That's all I see. And so when I see a preacher up there talking about blah, 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 she also drugged me to her like little silly little church that she's been going to, which, I get it. They're very anti-woke, but I also feel like they're very anti-gay because they want to take the gospel, which was written by a guy. Wait, wasn't it was written by a king, who was like, we need to get these fucking serfs under control. Let's make sure that they don't have any. And by the way, it all started by word of mouth. So it's one big game of telephone of somebody said something about this Jew who could fucking walk on water and turn water into wine and shit. He does magic tricks. He's zombie Jesus who comes back to life after 3 days. So if you want to believe in that shit, that's fine. Fairy tales are great. It's great moral scaffolding. It's just, it's not. I just see through all the bullshit. You glean the good things. You glean the ancient knowledge that has been passed down for thousands of years. But this church, man, he's probably against the Jews. He's probably against. He's probably against the Jews. He's probably against the gays. And that's not, I'm not saying that Reina's still trying to figure out what they're about. So I'm not trying to speak out on, how Reina feels about any of this, because obviously Reina is not against it. And I'm not against any of that either. In my head, I'm just like, so what, gay people can't be in love? Love between two people of the same sex doesn't count. They're immoral. Like zombie Jesus is judging him from the cloud. Like from his cloud in the sky. Like that's all bullshit to me. It's bullshit to me. So I'm just, I'm very weary of glitz and glamour and movies. Like, it's just all become so fucking sophomoric and ridiculous to me. It's just too much. Like, and so when I'm seeing Brendan Fraser sweating, jacking off to gay porn and having a heart attack, it's fucking hilarious. Jesus isn't a zombie. Oh yeah, he's a lyncham, right? A linkham, or whatever. I'm sorry, I missed a bunch of stuff. I just started yelling stuff. And wouldn't it be nice, Robbie, if you could censor me? I agree. And listen, I'm not against. Anyways, whatever. I'm not against any of this shit. It's just, to me, I don't. I do have compassion. I have mad compassion. I fucking love little puppies. Babies are very cute. I don't like children being hurt. I think that's horrible. I don't like fucking. I don't like seeing homeless people being mistreated. I respect people. I work with the fucking homeless. Okay. I raised thousands of dollars for the homeless for the last 3 or 4 years. Over $100,000 easily. Maybe even $200,000 over the last 4 years. Me and my wife, and we've fucking worked together to do this. So it's not that I lack compassion. It's just that I lack. I just lack the. I don't know. I'm just having a hard time with letting go of reality to put myself into these made up situations. I don't know. And then to see preachers and shit up on stage trying to sell you and trying to sell you this idea of this idea that we have to fucking rally against people who don't believe. And it's I don't fucking no. It's not everybody has to believe in that bullshit. So people can donate themselves. I think everyone in chat knows this Reina Mystique. It's not. I love people. I love things. 12 times past the collection plate. Exactly. Be careful. It's Hebrew sledgehammer season. Well, no. And again, I'm not trying to shit on any one person. And in fact, I'm personally trying to fucking, uplift people out of the gutter and shit. And here's this, fat guy, right? The story of this fat man. It's a great story, right? But it's just. And then you find out this body positivity is sponsored by Nestle. You know that? Do you guys know that this body positivity shit is sponsored by the people who are poisoning us? Who are poisoning and stealing water, who are fucking putting chemicals in our food, who are making food that's so disgusting that not Europe has banned it, right? So it's what are we doing? We're getting our social movements from corporations whose only purpose in life is to make more money than they did last fucking quarter.
Do you want a guest on your show right now?
Who is it?
Me.
Why?
I got things to say, bro.
About what?
All the things that you're saying.
Do you think I'm wrong?
I just think that I have things to say.
What do you have to say, Reina?
I love you. It's okay. I'm out of here. I just had to get my headphones because Saucy is distracted. So.
By what?
Listen. By the show, because I have you on. So I gotta go put you on my headphones.
Oh. Anyways, and there's a rumor that Passion of the Christ 2 is coming out whipping. This time it's personal. Isn't there like a Family Guy where he has like a fucking like an automatic rifle? It's like da, 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 da. I don't know how to say lichem. It's a lichem. Slam bam ham. Okay, I didn't spit take that one. Jesus, yeah, he's a lichem. I forgot. I know this was agreed. All the nerd canon has proven that to us. Lechem, Alicum, Lahiam. Wait a second, is that like the thing? Oh, it's is that like saying hi, or that's like a Jewish blessing or something, right? Think men should have rights. I had to climb it. I had to say hi. I'm glad you got down all that giraffe pussy. English is the kind of guy that donates and then takes pics. No, I am not. I do not fucking take pics of me fucking with homeless people. First of all, that's fucking disgusting. Not the homeless people, but like that. But I'm just trying to defend. You said I have no compassion. I'm just trying to defend myself. All right. I never talk about what we do like that all the time. It's not like it comes up, but I'm not this. It's just that I have a hard time with these make 'em ups and fucking, fairy tales being sold to people to hate the gays. You know what I mean? Like and other religions. Like I don't, I'm not the biggest fan of religion, but I think that people have the right to celebrate and to believe whatever they want and not to be, hated for doing it. I don't think that's wrong. I mean, look, when the time comes, I'll let you guys know when it's time to donate. I talked to an attractive female today, and it wasn't. Gene is back on that one. Been 10 years since I've been in the game, so not even sure coaching is in my cards. The show they're taking the only chocolatey mascot, Nestle Quick Bunny. Yeah, these motherfuckers who are about fat positivity. It's okay to be fat. It's like it's Nestle saying that. It's Nestle saying that. I'm fat as fuck right now. I'm so disgusted with myself. I look in the mirror every day and just like, you fat piece of shit. You fat fuck. No, I don't. I try really hard to not talk badly about myself, but it's hard. And as someone who's lost weight and gained weight over the years, it's just, yeah. Anyways, no, it's a cheers. Okay, cheers to life is the direct. Oh, that's good. L'chaim. I've heard of l'chaim. L'chaim. I can't say that shit very well though. What is this? Gift because you want to know for clout is attached to it. Okay. Make 'em ups. That's how. Tom. That's coming from Tom. That's coming from Christina P. Christina P. and Tom. Who's the comedian who's married to her? I fucking love Tom something. Anyways, how long did it take for Little Debbie to get Debbie? Not very long. Not with all that processed garbage in it. I'm sorry to say this, with Chubby Brothers Unite, I am now entering the club to take my hand, brother. We can do this together. Listen, today I went and fucking bench press. Last week I was doing squats and shit. I'm coming back, y'all. I will say that this movie inspired me to come home and eat like a fucking pig. I just went hog shit. I was like, this movie inspired me. Like, I chose to overeat at 2 a.m. instead of getting laid. I'm just telling you that this was a very inspirational film to me. What the fuck is that? What's happening? Is there like a jet engine outside of my window? Fuck's sakes, man. This place is wild, dude. Tom Arnold. No, it's Tom Segura. Tom Segura. Very funny comedian. You guys should go check him out. That was better than a lynch ham. Lynch ham. What's a lynch ham? Mighty, my dude. Enjoy your day off. I'm glad that you're out there living your best life. Wonder how Reina Mystique felt about that decision. I don't know. I felt cheated on. Oh yeah. Well, I always choose food over pussy, which is sad. I mean, and that's the problem. I'm a drug addict, and now that I don't do drugs, like food is this necessary drug that keeps us living. I will never choose food over that. Listen, I didn't know that the vagina was available. She said, I'm going to bed and I'm tired. Okay. That wasn't like, hey, come to bed. Let's go and do things. It was like, hey, I'm eating. You're going to bed. I don't know. It just wasn't obvious to me. There was options and choices that had to be made. I made mine. I understand, Robbie. I understand that. I kind of regret my decision. I would have starved for the VJ. With 2 kids, I get so few cracks. I feel you, dude. Listen, I'm not, I got one boy, but he is in our shit. And I agree. It was date night. The kid was gone, unspoken. Yeah. Listen, I don't know. Sometimes I'm just oblivious to things. I'm not with it all the time. Anyways, so we watched The Whale, this very hilarious movie, which is just, why do women leave things unspoken? Men are oblivious. Thank you, Robbie. Thank you. Men are just like, me eat now? Oh, me sex now? Oh, me go watch TV now. It's you got to keep shit very simple for us. We need cut up portions, okay? Just single servings. Like, you can't be too much at once. You gotta work with us. It's like, I mean, women are just, you're too complicated and too smart. We're very simple people. Very simple. Very simple. He knows me for like 15 years. How much more talking do I have to do? I don't know. You were tired and going to bed. It's like, I'm trying to stay awake, but I'm tired. I gotta go sleep. It's like, all right, we'll go to bed. Here's the thing. I used to get mad about some of that shit, though. I would be like mad that she went to bed without, offering up sex. You should be happy that I'm not just like a raging psychopath because I didn't get laid. It's just like, okay, I'm just gonna eat myself to sleep. My wife always was like, I would have had sex, but then when I proposition, it's like, not now. Yeah. Oh, I hate that. That used to be a discussion all the time. I just like, yeah, I would have had sex, but it didn't come up. Or you gotta like finesse the situation, which I'm not great at that. I'm not great at finesse, finagle. My brother-in-law said last night that you gotta finagle the pussy. Right? I was like, first of all, you don't finagle pussy, okay? I was talking to her brother last night. We were talking about her vagina and how much he was an advocate. He's like, Reina, you need to come off that pussy for Mike. Which, hey, I'm glad I got an advocate. Let me tell you one good thing about that preacher over at that church that Reina's been going to. He did say, like, ladies, fuck your dudes. And she took that shit to heart. So I'm not going to hate too much on that church. Just, I'm not interested in going back. And I'm not saying that they hate anybody. That's wrong of me. I shouldn't have said that. But it's just that there's always a catch-22 in these places, right? It's very weird. You got to finagle the penis into the... yeah, we're not great at finagling. Some men are they are expert finaglers. I've known a couple in my time. As a men's right activist, I believe sometimes we don't read the sign. Straightforward is always the strongest suit. I agree. Let's just keep it plain Jane. Let me know. I'll eat it. I'll lick it. I'll stick it. Whatever you want, let me know. Just let me know. I'm here for it. DM. Gee. I know too many people that have been diddled, but yeah, hard to take their advice. Yeah. I grew up Catholic, yo, and here in Toledo, there was a huge scandal where there was a Catholic priest who was murdering nuns. All right, because they were speaking out against his finagling and diddling. So, there's a lot to be said about the church, and I don't want to sit here and shit on religion because I feel like, our country was sort of built on it, even though we're supposed to have a separation of church and state. But hey, on God we trust, right? Or in God we trust. My favorite is too strong to the force. The empire of men's right activists compels me. You got to choose. Can't be greedy. I agree. One was already asleep and I didn't feel well. It's always something. God damn it. Always something. You got to choose. You got to choose. Life is choices. Separated from fools and taxes. Yeah. Those priests, man. Which is funny is that Catholic priests weren't always like supposed to be celibate. One was celibacy. Come on, fuckface. When was celibacy? I don't know how to spell it. Wow, that is just not even close. Celibacy. Hey, I think I did it. No, I didn't. Enforced for Catholic priest, because it wasn't even a part of the whole religious thing until oh Jesus Christ, when two, how did two even get in there? God damn it. The universal requirement to celibacy was imposed upon the clergy with force in 1123 and again on 1139. Oh, Jesus. So it's been a while, I guess. But it wasn't always part of it. But that's gross. Google's loose. You can't diddle and finagle. Oh, I see. You got to choose one or the other. Yeah, well, I don't choose diddle. That's not me. Finagle is that's a gray area too. I'm not. Well, no, diddling is there's no gray area, but finagle it's kind of a gray area. Like, I don't like the idea of finagling. Like, I like the idea of a little grace. I don't know. What would be the right word? Finesse. I like the idea of finessing the pussy, right? But I'm not very finessey either. I'm more messy. Thank you, honey. Anyways, the comedy of the year, The Whale. Don Juan Dylan Machovo here. That's how we do. So here, let's watch the comedy of the year here. See if we get DSCM Day. Society Sink. I think that's the girl from Stranger Things, right? Hong Chao. It's already hilarious, isn't it?
Do you ever get the feeling people are incapable of not caring?
His performance will floor you.
People are amazing.
People are amazing. I'm sorry. This shit is very funny. Okay. So, obesity is hilarious. I'm officially obese right now. I'm officially obese. It's just hard sometimes to put the extra effort into putting the kids to bed. I feel that. Hey, just watch Japanese porn. You'll see them finagle the pussy masterfully. Most Japanese porn is blurred out. Really? That's weird. The blank he has is desperate blinks in hard. Oh, okay. Seriously, one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. It's very good if you don't have a shit outlook on movies and entertainment and religion and all those things. Again, I'm a fan of Darren Aronofsky, who again he's done what's the Requiem for a Dream. Yeah, that is, yes. I used to be obsessed with his films when younger, but they freak me out. Yeah, they are freaky, man. I mean, Requiem for a Dream is such a creepy-ass movie, like, especially the scene with Jennifer Connelly. I think my favorite quote from a movie is when the rich businessman who sells heroin as well, and Jennifer Connelly's up there, and he's just like, well, you're going to have to do favors for dope. And he like pulls his dick out and she's just looking at it and he says, pie. Yes, pie was also great. A freaky movie as well, like another freaky movie. He pulls out his dick and she's just looking at it. He's like, I know it's pretty, baby, but I didn't bring it out for air. And at the end, they're like, him and her, Jennifer Connelly, and some other girl. They're in this, this businessman's suit in his apartment, his luxury apartment, and there's a bunch of fucking rich dudes like throwing money at him, and they're like ass to ass, ass to ass, and they have to get like on this double-ended dildo, and they have to go butt to butt, and they're just slamming ass against each other. And she's just sitting there, and I think there's a tear running down her face because she's all sad that what her life's become because of her shitty choices. Her like boyfriend loses an arm because gangrene. It's fucking amazing movie, but again, it's creepy. It's stuffy in there. Ass to ass, ass to ass. Every high school should allow the teams to watch it so they can stay clear from drugs. I agree. It's a great anti-drug movie. Movie worked through. I never did hard drugs after seeing it. Yeah, it worked. It worked. I agree. It's stuffy in here. Oh, the Kids is great too, right? Right? Like, oh god, that ending is so fucked up. It is so fucked up. And what's her name? Chloe something? How he gives her AIDS and like he just sits back after he busts. He's like, ugh. He gives this poor girl AIDS. Oh my god. It's fucked up. Yeah, who did that? Larry, who did Kids? First, what other movies did Darren Aronofsky do? Didn't he do Following as well? Yeah, let's see the movies. Mother, I've never seen Mother. And Noah was a fucking shit. Oh, Black Swan. Oh my god, Black Swan was so good. And that was The Wrestler was good. The Fountain was like, Requiem and Pie. So he's only done a few movies. That's awesome, though. I love that there's like he takes time in between his movies to, to really get it right. And I think he did it really well. Mother, I'd love to see Mother. I wonder, Noah was garbage. I don't know why anybody would want to watch that one. Anyways, but Black Swan was really good, and that was another freaky ass fucking movie. I got these cheeseburgers. What was that? Don't Be a Menace? Is that Don't Be a Menace? That was a fucked up movie too. A lot of those movies, man. What's that movie where the young kid robs the Asian liquor store and he blows their head off, and then he like steals the security tape, and then he's showing it to his friends and they're like laughing about it? Like, that's not Poetic Justice. What is that one? Man, that movie is fucking Chauncey. Dude, that movie is so fucked up. Like, and that's the mentality that goes on, you know, when you're fucking, when you ain't got shit. Desperation makes you do fucking crazy things, man. I mean, that was the only movie for skateboarders all the way up to this is the 90s. Oh, for kids, yeah. This is the Saturday Night Live writing is missing out on. That is golden. Naders, your official black card is in the mail, but I can't email that. We send it out. It'll be Seed Pete. You'll get it eventually. It's coming. It's just not anytime soon. That was a historical piece that we will never see at HD remake because the community can't get it together. See, I'm not saying any of that. I mean, that movie is fucking wild. That movie had a real impact. You have to fast pass to my gun range. You and Tommy need to meet. Anyways, if you guys want to see a hilarious movie, go watch The Whale. It's a laugh riot, a laugh a minute. Especially when you see like the prosthetics. And to be honest with you, again, the lighting, the cinematography, everything is beautiful. It's a very well shot, well done. You can tell Darin Aronofsky is a master at what he does. But but I'm just losing my sense of caring about getting into stories. I don't care. Like, I think that's why I like fantasy and science fiction TV shows and stuff. Like, I think I just need it to be out of this reality. Like Game of Thrones, I'm still going to watch Game of Thrones. Like, for a while, I liked The Walking Dead, but that turned into a piece of shit. Now I watch The Walking Dead by watching the the YouTube breakdowns. So I'm up to date on Walking Dead. I like that I can watch a 10-minute video and get the whole fucking season in one take because it's better. Not all hood culture classic movies will never be remade. Yeah, not at all. They are making